Hello there. What I'm about to play you is a 10-minute audio and a 2-minute video clip recorded outside my parents' property in Bath last Sunday, the 13th of July 2025. Now, this is largely for the benefit of Avon and Somerset Police, so they have access to this critical evidence of this escalating crime, which is quite literally spiralling out of control at the moment. So I think it's absolutely vital that they do have access to this evidence. Now, during this recording, my father can be heard repeatedly threatening and trying to dial 999 over and over again, in spite of all my best efforts to try and distract him and pull the conversation in other directions. He keeps insisting on dialing 999 for no apparent reason other than to protect the profits in his extremely harmful charity fraud and escalating violent terrorism, which is yet again another example of repeatedly trying to weaponize state authorities, and in this case the emergency services, to protect the profits in harmful charity fraud and escalating violent terrorism, which is subjugating emergency services for the opposite reasons than it's actually designed for, and that is actually to end life prematurely instead of sustain life. We should be dialing 999 to ask first responders to attend to an emergency and sustain the life of somebody in trouble. Well, my father obviously has a diametrically opposite opinion about why we should be dialing 999. And as we can hear in this recording, he expects first responders to quite literally rush out and help a senile psychopath unalive his children, help him remove me from the building, quite simply because I have irrefutable evidence of his constant murder attempts and escalating violent terrorism, which is utterly ridiculous in light of the fact that people are literally being sent to jail and sent court summons for complaining about these terrorist actions. While my dad is allowed to just keep repeatedly dialing 999 over and over again, year after year, for help to unalive his children, which is nothing short of utterly ridiculous and one of the most classic examples of two-tier justice I believe that we have seen in this country thus far. So in light of this, I think that we should have a quick listen to this recording. It's Christian here.
You have to call the police again.
You have to call the police again? I want to see you. Father, look, I need to talk to you urgently. I have some very serious
The police
matters.
are down there, it's all rubbish.
It's not all rubbish. You don't sound like you're in your right mind, Father. I'm very sorry.
Okay, well we don't want to see you.
Look, I've got... Can I just please... I went to Manor Farm yesterday and I met the owner.
Manor Farm?
Manor Farm, where I grew up.
Yes.
And had a wonderful time there with a lady who bought the property some 15 years ago. She's renovated it quite a lot. And I took some photos and she showed me around to my old bedroom and outside. And I just got some photos I'd like to show you. And she's got some photos, and I think she'd like to see photos you have, because I'm sure you have some somewhere, of the original setup and how it all used to look like. Remember that? What's that, Father? Remember that? It still smokes, you know. All the smoke doesn't go up, does it? And that, do you know how old the beams are?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
How old are they?
400-500 years.
400-500 years? About 1700?
Earlier.
Earlier than that? 1500? Really? Really? Because there's a square on the end of the beam.
The police were here 2 days ago, did you know that?
They were here 2 days ago. I've spoken to the police. They are aware of what's going on. This is with my cancer problem and violent abuses that I have suffered at the hands of very...
Any idea where they came? They were looking for her mother.
You're looking for my... Well, I'm worried about her because I've not seen her in 3 years. I have a duty as her son to check on her. It's not right. It's not right for you, Father, just to slam the door.
Anyway,
if I've come all this way, it's not right for you to slam the door in my face.
Well, I don't want you to come all this way, and you know.
I have a right to know if she's all right or not.
She's fine. She's fine.
Yes.
You ring the police. They've spoken to her. Okay, and she's fine.
She's fine.
Yeah, you ring the police. They'll tell you.
Yes, I don't need to. I don't need to ring the police. The police have asked me not to ring them about such a trivial matter.
To us in the past.
I haven't been. Look at.
Calling me a terrorist on the internet. I can never forgive you for that. Okay.
Never forgive me.
No.
Well, I've suffered very violent abuses.
Okay.
You know,
Okay,
I mean, if you
could
support those violent abuses,
you
then what
don't
am I
go-
supposed to think?
If you don't go within 30 seconds, I'm going to call 999. Okay?
You're going to dial. Why are you going to? Why are you going to dial 999?
Because that's what they asked me to do.
What they asked, the police asked you to
Yes.
dial 999.
Yes.
If when what happened? I mean,
If you turn up.
if I turn up here, I mean, that's a reason to dial 999.
Yes.
I mean, why is my turning up at this property asking for my mother to see if she's alive, or why is that?
No, she's fine.
Why is that an offence that requires dialing 999?
Bye-bye.
I mean, look, I mean, I'd like
Just
to talk
go.
to my mother, please, just for 2
Well,
seconds,
okay,
just
two
see if she's all
seconds. If
right.
you just wait there. I'm not inviting you into the house. Okay.
Right, okay. Hello, I'd just like to see you and see my mother and make sure you're okay.
Of course I'm okay.
Of course you're okay. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean you're okay through all the stories I've heard.
Well, don't believe any of the stories you're hearing.
Well, yes, but I mean, I don't want to be left on my own to believe or not believe stories. I'd rather see it with my own eyes. You are my mother. I do have a right to see my mother. I don't have to go and ask the shopkeeper, you know, or the police.
I'm fine, darling.
You know,
Absolutely
yes,
fine.
well, I would like to pay regular checks on you because I'm worried about you.
You didn't worry about me at all.
Pardon?
You don't have to worry about me at all.
I do have to worry about you. How old are you?
Oh, 80?
80.
Yes.
You're a bit more than 80.
Well, 81. No, 81?
No, you're not. You're more like 84.
No, 84 then.
Well, if you're 84, you need your son to check on you. You can't just like lock yourself away in a.
I'm living with a doctor, darling.
Living with a doctor.
Yes. So
Well, he doesn't have the best reputation for looking after people.
he does actually.
Well, certainly not your son. When it comes to my cancer problems.
Very well.
Well, I think it would be a good idea if we did. I mean, I've been to Manor Farm yesterday, and I met the new owner, someone called, and she showed me around. She showed me my old bedroom. Yes, and I showed her the video. I showed her photos, and I showed her the video that you sent me in 2010, or Maya and Luke sent me in 2010. That I think Luke transposed Dad's old silly videos onto a new format, onto a DVD, and he sent it to me in 2010. I managed to put that onto an MP4. So I was able to get a couple of stills off it and just show them from Manor Farm, just a couple of like Maya and I walking up the driveway in 1970 holding hands, 1972. Yes, and you in your yellow shorts, yes, looking very dashing, holding my box with my red car in it.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, by the front door. And Joy was very interested to see that because he was like, oh, there's white paint on the front door. Then now there's no paint on the front door. But she showed me round the whole place. Showed me round the outside a little bit. I'd like to show you just a couple of photos actually.
Yes.
Just of oh, Grumpy's not here. Let me just show you. I mean, this is just, yeah, that was. Hang on a minute. Yeah, here we are. This is just some from this is just outside. I think this is just outside. Make sure I'm doing it right. Yeah, this is from just literally outside the gate, Manor Farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is the Chew Valley.
Yes.
This is Manor Farm straight up the driveway.
Yes.
Yeah, looking much bit better than it used to actually. I noticed.
Yeah, I thought it
Look,
was
a bit posher. I think that's. Yeah, that's the same one. Yeah, that's just the view again from the gate. That's the other gate. That's the cattle grid where I had that argument with Maya. Maya, yeah, she tried in her little red wellies, little brat, to try and get over when you had told me not to let her, and she wasn't having any of it and had a meltdown. But anyway, that's the famous loop, and I think they've turned this into holiday lets now. There we we go. Yeah, that's an old picture taken from the previous owner, Pierce's, I think, 1984, I think. Don't quote me on that. Yes, going inside now. Then the lovely fireplace. Remember that, don't
Yes,
you? There's an amazing oak beam over the crowd. I didn't realise it. I'd forgotten how amazing it was, and I'd forgotten how low the doorways were. I was, yeah, and I remember you practically knocking yourself out on the kitchen archway when you were dancing one lunchtime.
It'll be about 15 minutes.
Oh, darling, go.
Oh, come on! I'm not bothered about the police. I've already spoken to the police.
Okay.
I've already spoken to the police. Look, I just want to finish showing you the photos. Finish showing you the photos. Just calm down. Calling the
Get a
police.
restraining order on you.
Oh,
so they
come
would
on.
arrest you if you came.
Oh, really? Look,
No, that's the
Dad.
truth. That's the
No,
truth.
it's not the truth. I know
It
when
is
I'm
the
being lied to.
Bye-bye.
Look, Dad, stop lying to me. Stop lying
You
to
have
me.
been so awful to us in the past. We don't have anything to do.
You have shown abysmal behaviour yourself. Trying to find out some information about my son Benjamin. Just realised that I have forgotten to ask about my son Benjamin in that conversation. What with so many other distractions. No, he's not going to answer the door.
Now, the first thing to note about this audio recording is that I myself told my dad very clearly that I had survived some extremely violent abuses, and he knows all about the constant murder attempts and efforts to kill me, only to reply and respond with this ridiculous insistence on dialing 999 to ask for his first responders to come out and remove me from the building, which certainly in my opinion is nothing more than a confession, a clear admission that he himself is running a massive racket of kidnapping, beating, battery, brutal torture with intent to cause GBH, serial murder and even massacres from that building, and the very fact that he is slamming the door in everyone's face who complains about it, I think tells us who is responsible for it. And what amazes me is that he's not actually working harder to try and cover all this up. He, I believe, is so entitled, or believes he's so entitled, he's making some quite rudimentary mistakes. In other words, it would have been a little bit wiser, I think, from his behalf to invite me in the building and try and pretend that he wasn't responsible for it all, and try and bluff it a little bit more and say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But instead, he just slams the door in my face and threatens to dial 999, which, at least from my perspective, is a very clear admission that he himself is guilty. He himself obviously wanted those murder attempts to be successful, and the very fact that I survived them means that he has to dial 999. What does that tell you about his guilt and his determination to assist, aid and abet violent terrorism? It tells us all we need to know about his guilt and confirms that beyond all reasonable doubt many times over, in light of all the evidence that keeps coming to our attention. So the next thing to note is that after visiting my parents' address last Sunday, there was a flurry of more revelations concerning my son and his possible incitement of my father and manipulation of my father to try and steal my inheritance. So it looks like there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than meets the eye, to put it mildly. And obviously I'm going to address these inheritance issues in future videos. And I hope this goes some way, incidentally, to helping us stop my father from repeatedly dialing 999, because this is now becoming a very serious problem. If somebody is blatantly and obviously dialing 999 to unalive their children, escalate violent terrorism and protect the profits in extremely egregious mutilation for profit charity fraud, then they need to be stopped. And if their guilt has been confirmed, we have a reason to stop that. And if we have enough evidence to prove their guilt many times over, what are we waiting for? Thank you for watching.